When I first started doing outreach, I was an absolute mess. I had no idea who I should be talking to, so I just sent messages to anyone who would accept my connection. And honestly, it was really embarrassing. I got blocked more times than I'd like to admit, and my messages were awkward, generic, and I was screaming desperate. So I had no clue what I was doing. But here's the thing. Everything is so much different now. Outreach isn't just something that I've gotten better at, I've completely mastered this. My clients and I use a simple, repeatable framework that books high ticket qualified calls every single week, and I'm here to share that exact same process with you today. So, by the end of this video, you're gonna learn exactly how to figure out who your ideal client is so that you're never wasting time messaging the wrong people again. You're also gonna learn which platform, whether that's LinkedIn or Instagram, is the right fit for your business and why. Most importantly, I'll walk you through the exact messaging framework I use to turn cold connections into warm, excited prospects who are ready to book a call with you. Okay. Now, I've worked with over 100 amazing clients, whether that's coaches, consultants, and online service providers who were feeling stuck in the same place that I was. Now they're signing 10K, 20K, even 500K deals with clients that they actually love working with. Kareen closed a 250K deal with PayPal executives for wellness coaching. Dr. C closed two back to back 7.5K deals in 1 week for executive trauma healing. Ina, who is a fractional CFO, is consistently generating leads and closing two deals every week. Dr. R closed a 500K contract with a health company in Peru for leadership coaching. Brooke closed a 15K monthly retainer for fractional CFO services. And all of these clients got these exact results from implementing my framework and my messaging. Okay. Now, if you're ready to skip the stress, you're ready to stop making the same mistakes that I once did and actually do what works, stay tuned because I'm going to be going into so much detail today. So if you need to, pause this video, go get some coffee, get your popcorn, take notes because this is going to be a video that you're going to want to stick around for. So, when it comes to your outreach, knowing your avatar is everything. Like when I say everything, I mean everything. So, before you even think about outreach, you need to know exactly who it is that you're talking to and why. Okay. Outreach isn't just outreach. Okay. You actually have to have clarity and a strategy for when you're doing outreach. Okay. So, here's how to define your avatar in detail. So, first, you want to think about their professional title. So, are they CEOs? Are they department heads? Are they managers? Are they solopreneurs like coaches or consultants? I want you to write down the exact role that you want to target. Okay. Next, we want to understand their psychographic. So we want to understand what drives them. What are their goals and their values? Are they focused on scaling their business, creating more time freedom, or maybe leading a purpose driven company, right? So think about what their goals and psychographics are. Next, we want to identify their key pain points. So identify the problem that they're actively looking to solve. If you help a business scale, is their challenge lead generation, time inefficiency, or is it cash flow issues? I want you to be as specific as possible. Now, what is their desired transformation? So think about what results they're craving. Instead of just generic goals like grow their revenue, I want you to focus on measurable and quantifiable outcomes. So what is it? Doubling their team size, automating their sales process, or are they generating or wanting to generate over $1 million in new deals and new sales? Where are they? So where can I find them? If I were to go online right now, where can I find them? So you want to identify what platform that they're most active on. LinkedIn is ideal for B2B decision makers, while Instagram works better for solopreneurs and more niched experts. So I like to say, let's focus on LinkedIn no matter what it is that you're doing. Okay. So if you're selling high ticket offers, especially to businesses generating millions or billions of dollars in revenue, LinkedIn is the place to be. Here's why. Decision makers are on LinkedIn to connect, network, and solve problems. Unlike Instagram, LinkedIn users expect to discuss business. So on Instagram, it's more flowy and it's more, hey, how are you doing? And meanwhile on LinkedIn, it's more like, hey, how are you? Like, do you need help with this? Or, hey, let's get down to business, right? Like more people are wanting to be direct on there as opposed to Instagram, where it's more of a conversational approach. Now, how do you find your ideal prospects on LinkedIn? Well, we use a tool that is called Sales Navigator. So if you go onto LinkedIn, okay, and you don't have Sales Navigator, they might give you it's either 14 days free or a month free. But if you do have Sales Navigator, and when you do get Sales Navigator, you can click on this button right here. It says Sales Nav, and then it's going to take you to this screen right here. Okay. Now, once you are on the screen, you're probably wondering, what the hey do I do? Well, you want to click on lead filters. Okay. All of these filters right here are filters for you to be able to find your ideal prospects. There's over 1 billion users, if I'm correct. There's over 1 billion users on LinkedIn. Okay. You cannot find your prospects in the most easiest and simplest way without using Sales Navigator. This has saved me so much freaking time. It is I don't know how else to say it, but it has saved me so much freaking time by using this one tool that LinkedIn has alone. Okay. Because another way that I can search for my ideal prospects is through here. But even if I were to just type in coach, I can't really use a lot of filters. And I'll show you exactly what I mean. I can see what services they have, I can see their posts, I can see their courses, whatever. I can see all of it. But if we click on all filters, these are the only filters that we get to use. Right? So there's not really a lot of filters here to be able to find who we're looking for. Whereas when we use this, we can see what their current job title is, we can see their seniority level, we can see what their company headcount is, their location, so much more. What industry are they in? Where are they located? And then, of course, what degree connection are they? Are they first degree, second degree, third degree? And if you don't know what these terms mean, I want you to think about your first degree connection like they are your friends on Facebook, right? Like you guys are friends, you can message them and whatnot, right? Like you won't go into their requested. Now, if you are a second degree connection, you can think about this as being mutual friends. So again, mutual friends on Facebook, you guys have something in common. Whereas a third degree connection, you have absolutely nothing in common, like at all. Like your third degree connection is somebody that you did not go to school with, you have not been to the same place, or don't have any friends in common, right? So these are completely cold people. Okay. Now, Sales Navigator is the most powerful tool for finding high ticket prospects. For only $99 a month, you get advanced filters to search by job title, company size, location, and even activity level, which I actually recommend to all of my clients when they're doing outreach. And the ability to see who's posted recently is a complete game changer because it does show you who's engaged and who is more likely to respond, or in this case, who is more faster to either accept your connection request or actually have a conversation with you. Okay. Now, you can also save your leads into lists. You can track their activity and you can revisit them without losing any momentum. And this feature alone can save you hours every single week. So, let's talk a little bit about Instagram. So, Instagram can work for high ticket sales, but I honestly leave that for LinkedIn. But it's best for solopreneurs like coaches, consultants, or niche experts. And here's how you can maximize that. So, search for titles. So, look for specific roles like business coach or consultant in their names. And you can do this by using Instagram search feature. So, if you have never used Instagram or you're not very familiar with Instagram, the way that you can do that is by going to instagram.com. And in the title here, you can type in coaching. Boom, we instantly found a few different profiles here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's just type in coach. Boom, another 5 different people. What about consultant? Boom, you have now found 5 different consultants. And the list goes on and on and on and on, right? So we can even be more specific, like sales coach. Boom, we get more. We can do trauma therapist. Boom. No matter what it is that you are searching for, it will pop up as long as your ideal client has them listed as like that username or with that name in their title. Okay. Now you can also search through their content. So when you find your ideal client, you can look through their comments and their likes, and you're bound, and I mean bound to find more ideal clients on their profiles. So what do I mean by this? So let's say we go to this person's profile. They have a bunch of followers here, and we can go into their content and we can see holistic wealth. We can see probably somebody else that's a what's it called, a therapist. We can see business and money coach. This person might be a coach. Can't really tell from their profile. This person's a coach or a consultant. This person's just a random person. They're private. Yeah. So you understand the point. Like you can easily go through their content, whether that's their comments, their likes, etc., etc. Okay. Another way that you can also do this is by looking at their followers. So you can go through their followers and type in a specific name that you are looking for of whatever your ideal client is going by. So again, if it's a coach, then you're going to their followers and looking up the word coach. If it's a consultant, then you're going into their followers and looking at the word consultant, and so on and so forth. Okay. Unfortunately, we do not have that ability, at least I don't think so, on Instagram on desktop. Let's see here. Actually, we do. So let's see, typed in the word coach, and boom, we have a bunch of coaches here on their followers. And more than likely, depending upon who you're looking for in the profile that you're looking at, you're going to be able to find a ton of people that are very similar to who it is that you are looking for. Okay, so that's how that works. Now, what happens if your prospect or your ideal client does not label themselves? What do you do then? Well, what you can do is you can go into Facebook, look at Facebook groups that are aligned with what it is that you are looking for. So, whether that's a coaching group, a consulting group, a therapy group, whatever it might be, maybe it's a sales group, right? You can look for groups that align with their niche, but avoid the low quality ones. And what I mean by this is that you can find a very, very large group. Like, there's a coaching consulting group that at one point was like 70 something thousand, then it went to like 120,000, and it's filled with people from overseas. And all these people overseas are just trying to pitch coaches and consultants different offers. So, like, hey, let me build your website, or hey, let me do your SEO kind of thing, right? Or hey, can I be a team member? All these different things are things that you want to avoid. So, you want to make sure that the group that you're actually wanting to join is legit and has real people. Not to say that overseas people aren't real, but you want to make sure that your ideal clients are inside of that group and not just filled with people overseas. Okay. Now, the part that you have been waiting for. So, now that you know exactly who you're talking to and where to find them, let's talk about the outreach itself. So, this is literally my go to framework for starting conversations that lead to conversions. So, I always say start with curiosity, and you want to make sure that your outreach message is always about them and never, ever about you. That's where most people go wrong. They make their messaging about them and not about the person that they are wanting to help. And that is something in itself that is a huge lesson. You can't talk about yourself up and down. You want to talk about them and the results that you can get them. That's what people actually care about. So start with curiosity. So your opening line should spark some interest. So here's an example. I'm curious, if I offered to help you land 5 high ticket B2B clients every month without spending a dime on paid ads, would you take me up on that? Then you want to add in a case study for social proof. So follow up with a quick case study to show credibility. One of my clients, a marketing consultant, landed 20K in contracts within 30 days of using this exact approach. Then close it out with a call to action and with something low pressure like PS, just reply yes or no. I'd appreciate your quick response. This in itself has reduced so much friction in our outreach and has gotten so much more volume of responses back that it's insane, the difference between when I didn't use it and when I did use it, and when I also started implementing it into our clients' outreach as well. Using that one line of PS, just reply yes or no, takes the pressure off entirely, because your prospect's first thing that goes through their mind is, oh, fuck, it's another fucking pitch, right? And you want to completely eliminate that feeling of like, oh, this is just another person. It's another generic message. It's another, hey, I do this, I do that. That in itself, just respecting it of like, hey, look, yes or no, like, I don't even care if you say yes or if you say no. I don't give two craps. Okay. That's the kind of mindset that you want to have when you're doing outreach. So it's not just, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, respond, respond, respond. It's, do you even find an interest in this? So you want to make sure that what you're saying is genuine to that person. Okay. Now, here is the exact framework. And if you want to pause this video, write this down, screenshot it, do whatever the hell you want, whatever, take it. So the exact framework is, I'm curious. If I offered to get you X benefit without X obstacle, would you take me up on that offer? Okay. And then right here is where you would include that case study. So we took a recent partner from 0 to 225K in 90 days. Okay. PS, just reply yes or no, as I'd appreciate your 2 seconds. Again, this one freaking part alone, I promise you, this one part alone has helped me get so many more responses back, just because I'm taking the pressure off of them. If they tell me no, it's no. Like, I don't care. I'm not going to fight them. And like, that's also what a lot of people don't understand is that when you're doing outreach and somebody says no, you don't like you don't just keep attacking them with why. Like if you're in the beginning of your outreach, okay, and you're still trying to figure out things and you want to be understanding as to why people are saying no, then yeah, you can absolutely say like out of curiosity, why not? I'm just doing some research and would love some feedback, right? So like when you're doing that, you can do that. But if somebody says no, just be respectful and back off. Okay? Don't nudge them, don't get yourself blocked because honestly, that will happen. Okay? But if you just ask this, literally just reply yes or no, and if they say yes, then obviously you carry on and you have a conversation. Okay? But if somebody says no, back off and leave them the hell alone. Okay? Now, if you are reaching out to billionaires or large corporations, you need to be direct. I want you to notice the same way that I'm being direct with you right now. You need to be direct. Billionaires, millionaires, and people with very, very, very successful organizations, businesses, whatever, they don't have time to freaking waste. So you better make sure that the message that you are sending them is concise, direct, and to the point. Okay. Now, there are some contingencies here. For heart led businesses, like coaching, consulting, or honestly, if I'm just being blunt here, anybody that's doing under $1 million a year is looking for a more conversational approach. How do I know this? Because I've done the difference. I've seen the difference. I know when to use a conversational approach and I know when to use a more direct approach. Again, if I'm reaching out to a company that is doing a fudge ton of revenue and I'm messaging the CEO of that company, I better be direct and I better be concise because if not, I'm going to get laughed at and my outreach just went to shit. There's no value because I'm not being direct and I'm not giving them exactly what they're looking for. Okay. Now, for again, anybody that's doing under $1 million a year, more than likely that person will be more receptive to a more conversational approach. So, if you want a more conversational approach messaging template, then please message me on Instagram or LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to share that with you. Okay. Now, LinkedIn specific tips. So you want to use your first degree connections for this specific message, okay? I'm not saying that that won't work with your second degree or your third degree connections. However, this is what we call a viral offer, okay? This messaging here, this framework, this is known as the viral offer. We call this a viral offer because it's so strong, it's so concise, so direct. It's just so good and it's irresistible to say no, okay? Now, I use this very specific messaging on the back end for sending first degree messages, first degree connection messages, just because my first degree connections have already consumed my content. They already know who I am. We've been connected. And now, if they consume my content, they already know exactly who I am. They've already seen the value I can provide, etc. So these are going to be people that are going to be more receptive to your message to them. Okay. Again, this can work with second degree connections or people that you just requested to connect with and then whatever they accept you right away and then you send the message the next day. It still works and I can guarantee that. Okay. Now, the only thing that will get you a no or even a block is if your messaging just doesn't make sense and it's not appealing to them. Okay. Now, expand your network strategically. So you want to use Sales Navigator to add your ideal prospects to your network. So again, we talked about second degree connections. You want to make sure that you are bringing more people into your network of your second degree connections, which will then open up more of your third degree connections into your second degree, right? So your second degree connections, remember, are people that you have mutual things in common with, but you're not actually friends with. And then your third degree connections are people that you have absolutely nothing in common with. Okay. Now, when you expand your network, you're able to bring in more and more people into your second degree connections. Okay. So before you send any, and I mean any kind of messaging, you want to be human. Okay. So whether you're doing this manually or you're doing this on an automated basis, which is what I do, everything I do is on an automated basis. You do not want to just send them the message. Okay. You want to make sure that you are being a human and you are actually engaging in their profile. And yes, it's also possible to do this on an automated basis. And if you want to know more about what that looks like, feel free to DM me about the automation and I'll be more than happy to share that with you. Now, you want to like, you want to follow, and you want to endorse their skills before you message them. Endorsing their skills might be a little bit over the top. So if you're not getting a response to that first message that you're sending, then you definitely want to lean on that, of endorsing their skills and then maybe bumping up that message for them. But overall, you want to make sure that you're engaging with their profile and their content and not just being a robot, right? Like you want to be human about it. Now, Instagram specific tips. Warm up through engagement. So I want you to engage with your prospects' content before you send a message, just like I talked about up here in LinkedIn, right? Like their posts. And a simple comment like this really resonated with me can go a complete long way. Okay. A lot of people will say like, oh, messaging or commenting on my post before messaging is grimy, it's icky, but honestly it shows that you're human and that you're not just some random bot with an emoji. Right? Like there could be worse things that can happen, but it does show that you are a real human. Check followers and engagement. You can find prospects by exploring their followers of niche accounts or checking who's engaging with relevant posts. So, like, let's say you go on your explore page and you are seeing your ideal client on there, right? Like, you can click on their page and then go into more of their engagement or their profile or their followers, etc., etc. And then you can also use stories strategically. So you can reply to their stories with maybe it's a question about maybe something that they're selling, something that they're advertising, or maybe it's about their dog and maybe how they had a great beach day, right? So you can do this to create a conversation without feeling that intrusiveness. Now, common mistakes to avoid. Okay, this is huge. Without a clear avatar, your outreach is bullshit. Okay, if you do not have clarity on who exactly it is that you're talking to, what their pain points are, who they are, where they are, what they're dealing with, what their goals are, and so on and so forth, like if you don't have this, forget it all. Forget it all because your outreach will fail. And that's just being completely honest with you. I've even had clients, okay? Clients, people who have paid thousands and thousands and thousands, I'm not joking, thousands of dollars to tell me exactly what to do for them, and they still fuck it up. They still do whatever the hell they want. They think that they know who their avatar is when in reality they don't. They don't. Okay? And that's just being blunt and honest with you. Like so fucking honest. Okay? If you do not have clarity on who you are talking to, forget it all right now. Like right now. Everything will just fall to shit. Everything. Okay? So don't rush that. Using generic messages. Automation will save time. Okay? It can kill personalization. It can, okay? But where that contingency comes in is knowing exactly who you're talking to. So if you know, and I'll give you my case and scenario here, if you know that you are talking to an IT consulting firm, then you want to mention IT consulting. If you know that you're talking to a coach, then you want to mention the word coach. If you're talking to a consulting firm, then you talk about consulting firms, et cetera, et cetera. That is how you can literally customize your messaging to fit the avatar that you are reaching out to. Okay. And that doesn't matter whether that's on an automated basis or a manual basis. I can do literally my entire outreach strategy manual and I'll still get the same results. Okay, so make sure that you are taking the time to understand exactly who they are, what they're struggling with, and then customizing that message to the best of your ability if you are doing this on an automated basis. Now, LinkedIn is direct. Okay, we talked about this earlier. LinkedIn is direct. Professional communication is needed, but I don't want you to think that you have to be like, hi, sir, hi, ma'am, regards, etc. Like, you don't have to be like that. You can literally just be yourself. No joke. You can be yourself without a problem. Okay. Now, Instagram allows for more of a conversational and informal, which is very true. Instagram is more wavy, more flowy, like, hey, how you doing today? Whereas LinkedIn is more like, hey, get to the point, like I'm tired of it. Chop, chop, right? So you want to make sure that you're using the right approach for each platform and don't get them mixed up. Okay. Now, this message template has worked for closing deals on Instagram. Okay, that is true. It has worked on Instagram, but it has not worked as well on Instagram as it has on LinkedIn. LinkedIn has literally been a printer of money for me. Okay, it prints money. Any platform can print money. But specifically when we're talking about a high ticket offer here and we're talking about LinkedIn, you don't want to not be on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn right now, like, stop this video, go create a LinkedIn profile, go get set up, because this is exactly where you need to be if you're selling a high ticket offer. And anybody that tells you otherwise, F them. I'm just being honest. Okay. If you are wanting to literally take your business to the next level, sell your high ticket offers, get volume in the door, and by volume, I mean volume, okay? Volume of eyeballs, volume of the right eyeballs. If that's what you want, you need to be on LinkedIn. And I'm not saying neglect other platforms, but LinkedIn is where it's at, okay? I would not be getting the results that I am, and my clients wouldn't be getting the results either if that was not true. Okay. Now, your next steps here. First, you need to define your avatar. So you need to get really freaking clear on who they are, what they do, what they want, all the nuances. You need to get extremely clear on that, because if you don't have clarity on that, this is not going to work for you. Okay. Then, once you have clarity on that, then choose the platform that you want to work on. Again, LinkedIn is for high ticket clients, Instagram is more for relationship based sales. Okay. So use a framework that I shared to craft those messages to literally stand out. Now, if you want help refining your outreach or you want the conversational approach, please feel free to DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram, and I would be more than happy to share that with you. And if you are going to do this framework messaging here, oh my goodness, if you are going to use this framework right here and you want to make sure that the messaging that you are sending out is perfect, it makes sense, and you know exactly who it is that you are reaching out to, I will also allow you to go ahead and send that over to me, and I will make sure that it is a great fit for you and your avatar of what you are reaching, of who you are reaching out to. Okay. So I hope you got a lot of value from this video, and hopefully I will see you again soon.